you know, we've gotten away from reading in general. We don't
Uh-huh.
read as used to because of the internet. You know, the internet not only destroyed the music business, it destroyed the book business, the newspaper business. It
Right.
destroyed a lot of businesses, man.
Right.
Like I'm trying to push this whole narrative. It's okay to pick up a good book. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Build vocabulary, build and you know, Bronx is known for hip hop. It ain't really known for too many authors, but I can't really even say that because Grandmaster Caz has a book. You know, there's Shaw Rock has a book. There's a lot of people with books. Internet.
Right.
So you know, there's a lot of people with books, and then you got just up and coming authors that don't have any fame and notoriety that have books. You
Right.
know,
Okay.
I want to be able to give. I want to be able to give them a space where they could sell their products. And I also attached a pop-up shop to it because, you know, like we economically we gotta be sorry about that.
Yeah.
Economically we gotta be on point, man. We gotta take care of each other. My whole thing is our folk.
That must be my engineer. I don't know what he's doing. That's my engineer.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Engineer, what we doing here, man? Okay. So I'm sorry. Continue.
Our folk been mistreated for so long.
Uh-huh.
Only way that we know how to treat each other is ill. So you know,
Wow.
me doing this pop-up shop, I made it very affordable. It's only $40. You bring your own table, you know. And I made it, not only did I make it affordable, but I made it where people could actually sell their products. And we giving turkeys away to the community later on in that day. So, you know, I'm trying to give forward, not back, but forward.
Right.
Too many people give back. I want to give forward because, you know, after this election, the one thing I interpret was we got to take care of each other because they
Wow.
promise you.
Yeah. Wow. That's it. Now, I'm gonna back up for a second.
Okay.
I was introduced to you by a wonderful young lady by the name of Spring Panak. How do you know her?
Her and I were. I actually I work in the shelter system, and she works in education. Okay. And one of the that to get out of the shelter, you know, a lot of people are stuck in the shelter system because of a lack of resources. Education being one of them. And she was actually helping me do workshops and talking to young women about doing more with their lives.
Mm.
She's an amazing person.
Wow. And she was actually speaking to the young women as well?
She's speaking to the young women, you know, in shelter. And so some of them actually registered for school, which is outstanding. And I'm sorry, I'm competing with this dirt bike. You know, so she was actually talking to some of the women about making better choices, and some of them actually went to school, you know, for nursing.
Oh, wow.
Because that's a whole different ball game right there. The shelter system, man. You know, I'm quick to say anything that bears good fruit in our society, you know, other people are on the top of, and we're black folk on the bottom of it. But anything that's of a detriment, that's harmful, we're at the very pinnacle of that. And we got to change that narrative. It's our narrative to change. No one else, you know?
Okay. Let me tell you a quick story. One day I was going to work, and I'm walking down the block, and I went a way that I don't usually go. I made 2 stops. And so the timing is interesting to me because I'm walking down the block that I work on. It was a young African-American young man, and a young lady walking in front of me. And they were about 4 or 5 steps in front of me. So I said, "Excuse me." They stopped. They turned around. I said, "Go for your dreams." So he looked at me. He pointed to her shirt. So I'm looking like, what? You know, I don't know what he was. I don't know what he was. So I looked at her shirt, and it said something about dream. I was like, so then I read it. It said, "Your dreams deserve your courage." I said, "Wow,
that's amazing."
Now that blew my mind. Like, how could that happen? Like, that made it clear to me I need to encourage people to go for their dreams. And I'm happy that you're going, part of your dream, putting this together is wonderful. So I want to encourage you, man. I want to encourage you. Go for your dreams too, man.
I really appreciate that, man, because I plan on you doing this. I plan on moving to all 5 boroughs with it, taking it up.
Great.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll probably do Harlem next. We might do Brooklyn thereafter. May cross back over, go to Yonkers. You know what I mean? But we got to get and then I promote a book. The 2 books that you see there. It's called Havoc and Mayhem and Major Havoc. And you could find that at havocandmayhem.net. And it's actually the only book that comes with trailers. Both of those books have a trailer because they read like a movie. And so that's the pure enjoyment of reading, that you can visualize scenes and so forth and so on. And you could get to escape reality we're in just momentarily.
So I'm glad do you help people to write books as well?
I don't.
To get their books written?
Nope. That happens to be my brother. So I ended up helping him. I mean, he wrote the book by himself. I just help him market it and promote it. Okay. And we do that as a collective.
I have a guy that's got an amazing story. Young guy out of Harlem, getting in trouble in the streets, committing crimes, doing all the bad stuff, doing all the wrong stuff, goes to jail, prison time, hardcore prison. Come out, get into basketball, goes to college, gets a degree, gets educated. Now, the man that put this piece together, what we're doing right now, is that man that did that. He's got an incredible story. And now he's got internet, helping Harlem community get internet. They have a company, and it's like they're doing fantastic work. They built a radio studio in the projects where I grew up at.
Oh, wow.
The projects, there's a radio studio, a streaming studio in the projects where I grew up at.
What projects is that?
Grant Houses in Harlem.
I know where it is.
25th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out.
That's dope.
So can it be, that's first of all, that's an incredible book, an incredible story. That could even be a film almost.
Yeah, but he got to write. Like, one of the things is, as great as the book that I promote, it reads as much as a film or a TV series. Yeah. Unless you write it that way, you ain't gonna get it.
Unless you what?
Unless you write it in a script form.
Yeah.
You can't even really, unless you making blockbuster sales. Like, if you sold 5 million copies on your own, someone will turn that into, because they figure, oh man, how's this person making money and I ain't making none with them? You know what I mean? So
that's what Master P did. Master P was selling out the trunk of his car, right?
Peace, Joe. He was selling the trunk of his car, and he flipped the game. He's smart. one of my favorite people, man, because you never heard anything negative about this dude.
Yeah, family man.
He's always grinding.
Yeah,
always grinding.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he's always grinding, and I mean, they said they were gonna take Ain't Your Mama off the Pancake Box. He dropped Uncle P's pancakes. I wasn't mad at him, man. I like, yo,
Okay.
go get. You know, he sees a need and he go for it.
Right.
I really understand why people you know, if I think the drug game is just not there no more because everyone wants prescription drugs for the most part. Like I'm not like in the 80s and 90s when in the crack era, you know what I mean? It's nothing like that. But in this day and age, you don't have to sell drugs. All you need is $1 million idea and put it to work and make it work for you. There's more opportunities to make money due to the internet than anything.
Right. And a lot of people have turned it around. Like, for example, my engineer that put this whole thing together, he turned it around.
What's his name?
Doug Frazier.
Doug Frazier, yeah. Salute. That's deep.
Yeah, he used to play with Joe Hammond.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Destroyer, Joe Hammond, and all those guys. Lloyd Free and all those guys. He used to play with all those guys, man. Gus Williams.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. Yeah. And I grew up loving basketball, so that I still love basketball.
So how did you end up
Huh?
How did you end up teaching boxing?
Well, I was a professional boxer. I had 22 matches, professional matches. I won 18 of them. Beat 2 world champions, and I was pretty good. I had a little skills. I had a little something. I could have took it further, but that's another story. That's another story. But yeah, it was. Then it just naturally fell into place. I started after boxing. I just started teaching, and then different health clubs around the city, and health clubs, universities, colleges, all over the place. I've been having a lot of fun with that too.
Let's go.
But then what really changed it for me, Kevin, is when I got into the personal development business, and I started learning about that. That's what really changed things for me. Yeah, having a different mindset. I started hearing guys like, I don't know if you ever heard of Les Brown.
Yes. The
motivational speaker. I saw him on TV, and I was right and ready when I heard his message. That was it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Leslie Calvin Brown, Mamie Brown's baby boy. He had a story, and then I just opened up another world for me. So I study now. I'm a student of this thing called personal development.
That's dope.
Yeah.
One of my biggest influences is Dr. Claude Anderson. Are you familiar with him?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's guy's serious, man. He's hardcore. He's no joke, man.
And I'm happy that people are starting to now gravitate to what he's been saying.
Yeah.
Practically all of his life. You know, he
never
changed his position as it pertains to us. You know. So
right. So where are you hoping this book fit? Give me all the details. When, where?
Okay,
next Saturday.
It's on Boston Road in the Bronx. I don't know the precise address. Hopefully you could put up the flyer at the end of the podcast so that people could see.
What's up now? What's up there now?
I have 3 authors. Eric Adams is supposed to be coming. He did a book on on vegan. He was going through really bad, and the doctors was like basically saying, "Yo, you're not getting better." And what he did was, I'm sorry, I'm competing hard with this. And what he did was he said, well, let me change my diet. He went to a plant-based diet, lost a lot of weight, and he's doing well now.
Wow, so that's great.
He wrote about that experience. He was like a near-death experience.
Wow.
But he changed his body, tried to alkaline it as much as he could.
Uh-huh.
Go 100% alkaline your body. You'll come close, but you can't. No one has been 100% alkaline. you know, and
Right.
It's his health turned around. So, you know, he's going to be out there signing some books. My brother will be out there signing books of Havoc and Mayhem. And
is it going to be outside or indoors?
It's indoors, actually.
Right.
But, you know, of course, because of COVID, we're social distancing. We got a certain amount of people that are coming, certain amount of people that are coming at one time, and then they have to leave, and then, you know, so forth and so on.
Right. And everybody wearing the mask?
General, everyone's wearing masks, right? Hand sanitizers in the front. Free general admission, you know?
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I advise anyone to come down and just take a look at what we're doing. It's profitable for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And giving back to the community. So we also, again, we're giving out about 100 turkeys or something like that.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful.
For the holidays.
Right. So one of the things we had said, one of the things I learned from this personal development business, you said you were competing with, and I know what you meant. You were competing with the bike. But what the thought that came to mind when you said that, the only real competition that we have is with that man or woman in the mirror.
Absolutely.
That's what it's like. I heard somebody say one day, it's you versus you.
Right.
And I said, wow, that really came home for me.
I'm trying to really bring us together as a collective.
Yeah.
Because
right.
Unless we aggregate what we're doing, our resources, we'll never wield power. And I don't think power should be one person. But if you and I both have the same message and we're on the same code, right? We can have power as a collective. We just got to be on code. We got to come up with a code of conduct that we're going to live by and stick to it. You follow?
Okay.
And so those are one of my personal missions. You know, where's your family originally from? If I may ask.
Georgia.
Okay, so you, like me, you're foundational. You're a foundational Black American.
Well, I was here from a baby,
11
months old.
When I say you're foundational, you like ethos. You like a American descendant of a slave.
Yeah, I came from Savannah, Georgia.
So you got a Gullah Geechee background just like me. My family's from Charleston, South Carolina. And
they came from they moved from South Carolina and they went to Savannah.
Right.
They migrated to Savannah.
And so the people from Jacksonville, North Carolina, all the way to Jacksonville, Florida, those are the same people. Those are Geechee Gullahs. They have an amazing history. You know, okay. We seem to think that we seem to think it's a very proud history too, because we seem to think that the end of chattel slavery was the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation. And if you look up a colonel named Colonel Jessup, he was talking about the Seminole Wars. It's a war that almost lasts over 100 years in America. See, they like to show us on our hands and knees begging for freedom, and then all of a sudden white folk had a good conscience and said, we're going to set you free. That's inaccurate. We fought, we killed, we destroyed towns in the name of freedom. And so Colonel Jessup had an emancipation because they didn't want to fight these Black folk who were freeing themselves by force. And so he said, and then all of a sudden the Emancipation Proclamation came. It was a staged document because they didn't want Europeans to know we were actually liberating ourselves by force. We were very smart with that. Very, very smart. And there are places in Florida, like Dane County, that goes back to the Dane County Massacre. In Orlando, I forgot what Orlando's name is, but these are actual people and events that took place, you know? So one of the things I'm trying to also do is fight for our own identity, per se. You know what I mean? Because Black folk, we come in different shades. My family's from Charleston, South Carolina. and you know, but when I say that, they're like, "Oh man, you look Dominican, you look Puerto Rican." You know what I mean? So we come in different shades, you know. So we got to learn how to start celebrating us, because no one's gonna celebrate us. That's kind of where my mindset is. Celebrate us. No one's gonna do it, and we don't need permission to celebrate us from no one.
Right. Right.
I definitely tip my hat to what you do with the you know, teaching boxing. I have a great uncle who's 90 years old that teaches boxing also. Well, he's not doing it now because of COVID, but he was all the way until COVID hit. You know, and he's like one of those last of the, you know, the great ones.
Okay.
His name is Al Hollywood Megan.
Okay.
And he half of knowledge, man. I would love maybe one day, maybe we could set up a Zoom and you can actually interview him.
Yeah,
you know,
I would. Yeah, definitely. Hollywood. All right.
Yep.
Hollywood swinging.
That's where the name came from. You know, Hollywood. That was the song.
Yeah.
He teach right there in Charleston. You know, well he did, and you know people like Smoking Joe was with him a week before he passed away. Muhammad Ali and him were very good friends. Roger Mayweather, rest in peace. You know, he was down there talking to the kids. Mike Tyson came down there to talk to the kids. You know,
okay.
He knows all, and I guess one of the things I want to definitely do is get his story told. His story is an amazing story, and I don't want it to be told. I would love for it to be told while he's alive.
Right.
Not when he's transitioned. I give folk their flowers while they're here.
Now, you said his story being told, right? I know this is a crazy question, but how important is storytelling?
How important is storytelling?
Yeah.
Very important, man. A lot of our history was actually given to us by storytelling. You know what I mean? My great grandmother, God bless her soul, she never spoke to me in a. I never got a straight answer. It was always in a riddle. You know, and it's crazy because it was always a parable or a riddle. But when she transitioned, everything she ever said made sense.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Like she would say, manners will take you where money won't. And I believe that.
You're tuned in to GHCR.NYC, Grant Houses Community Radio, home of the Community News Service, and the soul of the Upper West Side.
All right. Tina Dixon.
And I believe that wholeheartedly. Manners will take you where money won't. You have all the money in the world. If you're a nasty person, who's going to want to deal with you?
Right. Right. That's right.
I'm a firm believer, but when she told it to me, it didn't make sense. You know, well, she told me a lot of things. She was always telling me too, like if your ears don't hear, your ass will feel. You know, so
right. So what's that called? Wisdom, huh?
Yeah, I think that made sense. I think I got that off the rip.
Yeah,
you know,
you got that.
usually I had to go break a switch. when she said that, you know. My great grandmother was a strong woman, bro.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So,
could you imagine their life experiences growing up? Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
How difficult and how I think a lot of us are spoiled now, especially the young ones now. I think they're
lazy.
Spoiled. Huh?
We're spoiled lazy. We're spoiled lazy. But
imagine I think that's working from sun up to sundown.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine that, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And when I go to when's the last time you've been to South Carolina?
Oh man, it's been years. I went there. Well, I went there and spent time there twice. Went to my aunt's mother's house, and then I went to see Oprah Winfrey. She did a workshop, a seminar in South Carolina. So I haven't really spent a lot of time down there.
She goes to where my family's from, Edisto Island.
Okay.
You know, so it's beautiful out there, man.
Yeah.
But so you never went to see where Denmark VC and all of them live?
No.
And you actually feel something, bro. You like, ooh, like something just takes over. I mean, when I went down there, when that guy, Dylan Roof, killed all them people in that church.
Yeah,
and you know, me personally, I'm fighting to get us, meaning black folk, foundational black people. I'm fighting to get us into a protective class because, one, we deserve it. There would be no place called the United States of America if it wasn't for us. We built this country from scratch. There was no place named the United States of America until we got here, and we were never compensated for it. So that's my mission right now.
All right.
And little things that I do is for a bigger picture.
Okay. Like I said, go for your dreams, man.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm definitely huh?
It's our dream, right? You know, I think I'm an individual, but I like to think as a collective, like other people. So I look at race way different than just a skin color. I look at it as a competition that is of a cultural, of the same people culturally coming together, competing to get resources for their culture, for their people. That's my interpretation of race. It's not so much just the melanin. Like me and you are the same people. You're way more melanated than I am. But at the end of the day, you and I are the same. We want to, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But you and I recognize that. But how do we aggregate that and do it as a collective? And this is how other groups have historically won or winning, and we're losing. It's because we don't play together. You know, and so my thing is, if you ain't playing, stay out the huddle. You know, so you got to play together, man. You know,
right?
You play the game, win, or you lose by default, and we've been losing because we won't play the game.
Yeah, and it's a team sport. Would you say?
Racism is a team sport. You can't have racism. It's a collective of people oppressing you. No one white man or woman can do anything to me. But if they aggregate themselves in willpower, they could do everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Like after the Civil War, we had senators, we had governors, we had representation, but we never had a voting right act at that time. How did we do that? We're amazing people, but they put us to sleep, so they don't let you see how amazing you are, because that could be a problem. I feel like we totally digressed, but I think it was a good digression, right?
Yeah, I mean, I often tell people how amazing that they are, and they look at me like, what are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? I'm
Right.
not nothing special.
Right.
I'm not amazing, but I tell them that they are. And
right.
A lot of times they don't believe me.
Right.
Like this thing that you're doing, this book fair that you're doing, is phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and it's going to make a huge difference.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to touch some lives in a special, very special way. And there's no telling. Here's the good part about it: there's no telling how far and wide it's going to go, because just touching one person can make a huge difference.
Sure.
You know, it's almost like the butterfly effect. So I thank you for what you're doing. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to support you in what you're doing. I appreciate it.
And I appreciate your time. I appreciate this interview. You know,
yes.
salute guys, man. You keep up the good work. You're doing
Yes.
some amazing things yourself.
Right. We're going to do this again. And again, I want to thank Spring Panak because she, like you said, she's a phenomenal.
Shout out to Spring. I love her.
When you see her, send my love to her because she's an amazing young lady. And she got a lot of good and love in her heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So make sure you send that message to her from me.
You got it, my brother. I appreciate you, Rick.
All right. So we're going to be in touch. We got to do this again because you
sounds
you
good.
have a lot of knowledge. I'm a student. You have a lot of knowledge, and I'm willing to learn.
Listen, say less, man. We got to do this together. There's no I's and me's. There's only us and we's.
Right. Well, listen, thank you, man. Give the address and all the information again for the book fair, the Boogie Down Book Fair.
No doubt. Come out, support, and thank everyone for watching. I appreciate y'all.
Give me the address again.
I don't have it on hand. Hold on 1 second.
3428A Boston Road in the Bronx, in the Boogie Down Bronx. You have a phone number to call? A phone number? Oh, you froze. Kevin, you froze on me. I don't have a phone number, but it's the Boogie Down Book Fair and Pop-Up Shop. It's going to be from 10 a.m. in the morning next Saturday to 5 p.m., November 21st. Vendors are wanted. 3428A Boston Road. Kevin, you made it back? All right, he didn't make it back. And we don't have a phone number, so it's the Boogie Down Book Fair and Pop-Up Shop. Again, 10 a.m. to 5, November 21st, 2020. Vendors are wanted. The location is 3428A Boston Road in the Boogie Down Bronx. And that was Kevin Meggett, who I was just speaking to. Kevin Meggett, spelled Megget. Double T.
Not that easy.
That's right.
Oh, you made it back, Kevin.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Kevin,
can you hear me?
Is there a phone number? Is there a phone number if they have any questions?
614 735
735 57
yeah 13.
If they didn't have any questions, they could call that number. And
they could call or text. Texting is probably the best option.
Okay. Call or text. Text is best.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Listen, man. Thank you, man. Listen, let's be in touch,
I appreciate you.
Yo, Spring made
the
connection.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Spring made the connection. Let's keep the connection. Let's see how we can build. It's all about
Let's
building.
keep it going. That's right. That's right.
Even in boxing, it's teamwork. Even in boxing, believe it or not, it's teamwork in boxing.
Yes, sir.
No boxer can get in there by himself without help. He has help to
That's
get in
right.
the ring to do what he does. He has a team.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example.
That's right.
Team Mayweather. The money team. It's not
right.
Floyd Mayweather. It's the money
it's
team.
No, right.
Okay?
There's no eyes in me.
How about that? There's no eyes in team. Also.
That's right.
All right. Yo, right. Kevin, man. Success, man. Go for your dreams.
Appreciate you, my brother. No doubt, man. Peace.
And
peace, and we'll chop it up soon.
And like that young lady's t-shirt said, your dream deserves your courage.
No doubt.
Go for your dreams. All right, man. Peace.
No doubt.
All right.
Peace.
If misery is your best friend and it's gotten so you can't pretend, your tears keep giving you away, but you're praying for a better day.